Hi guys, Selena Walker here, naturopath, nutritionist and herbalist living deep in nature here at Ysbryd y Coed. And today I'm going to give you a tour of my herb garden, my veg garden and the main garden. Because I gave a full site tour back in 2020 and things have changed a lot in the garden. It's still very much in progress, but I'm going to give you a tour. So some of it will be me showing you behind the camera, some will be in front of the camera, some will be close-ups, but come on down to the garden. So this polytunnel went up last year. It was a bit of a faff getting it up. Chris pulled his back out many times when we were putting the footings in and he was out of action for months, and then we got COVID, but we got it up by the end of last year. And it was a bit of a rush then to get all the beds done. So we thought, you know what, let's make life easy. And we just covered the entire floor with cardboard, and then we brought in compost from our compost heap, which is actually where all the manure heap for about 12 years was kept from the Welsh mountain ponies, which the land was used for before we bought it. So it's looking a bit kind of messy, some people would say, but it's work in progress, and I think it's good to show that because I haven't got a big team. It's generally me in the garden, and I have help from, I got 2 apprentices that give me 2 days a month, and Chris is generally up on the building and the maintenance around the place. So the garden is just generally me. So this is what happened this year, and it's worked brilliantly. So the winter job is to put sides on and to actually develop this area to put pond in and some more shrubs and trees. So I'll show you round. Let's have a look at the plants in here. I love how without planning we've ended up with our standing stone right in the middle of the door. So we've got some of our sacred tobacco dry in there. And that's our Empacho sacred tobacco. Loads of chilies and sweet peppers. We've got some watermelons. Very little watermelons at the moment. I'm not too sure how they're going to turn out. And lots of cucumbers. In fact, I've already started pickling the cucumbers. Far more than we actually need. But I'll just do loads of pickled cucumbers. And then our salad has gone to seed, but I always wait until it's starting to go to seed before planting new, because we can use the spinach over there and the chard and nasturtiums and wild plants, and it's good to just spice it up a bit for your body. So I've got stevia there that needs to go out. There's some parsnip seed in there drying. These are looking a bit sad because I've just potted those on. Got oxeye daisy. Some meadowsweet. There's my little avocado tree that's just germinated, and then I've got lots of herbs along here and a mixture of food. So I've got feverfew, tulsi, sacred basil, hearties. There's blessed thistle, wild lettuce, loads of St. John's wort, California poppy. There's some more lettuce there ready to go out. And the next load of beetroot and some basil. And then along here I've got curly parsley and flat leaf parsley and dill. Now you know it's time to pickle your cucumbers when the dill starts to produce flower heads. Now this side, it's very exciting. I've got ashwagandha. So this is ashwagandha here. Some of you might be aware of taking this herbally. And then next to it, I've got sage, and spinach and rainbow chard. And then these are all things that either haven't had time to go out or I haven't decided where they're going. There's blue hyssop, just name some of them. There's some lavenders, marshmallow. There's henbane, the witch's plant. Look at the flower. Wow. More feverfew, evening primrose, loads of tree mallow, wild fennel, another burdock there, wood betony, and more basil. Then we've got the tomatoes. Now some of the leaves are looking a bit sad, but apparently when I looked that up, it's from trimming. And they're fine. I mean, you can see there's lots of tomatoes there. In fact, that's tomorrow's job, canning tomatoes. I've got the Amish paste tomatoes there, and also lots of cherry tomatoes and salad tomatoes. So we're not short of tomatoes. There's about 18 in each of those beds. So there's quite a lot of tomatoes. And then we've got some achuca. So the achuca is, some people use it as an alternative for peppers. I think there might be one little achuca. Let's have a look. If I dive in with my hand. Yeah, there's a little achuca fruit. There we go. And then there's some more tomatoes. So let's go outside. This is the garden outside from the top. And it's a mixture of food for us and herbs for us and also for my clients. So let's have a bit of a wander. Hopefully the microphone won't get in the way, but in this bed here I've got some seeds that I'm saving from different chards, and there's some new chard growing. There's some tree cabbage here, which is great because if you can stop it from going to seed, it's a perennial. It'll certainly keep it going for a couple of years. And then I've got some parsnips and swede on the end. So this bed here, again, a mixture. So I've got my tree mallow, which is sometimes called blue mallow, which I use medicinally. I've got some celery growing there. This bed actually needs a bit of a weed. And I've got cauliflowers, which I'm really, really proud of because it's the first year I've grown cauliflowers and I've got heads like this. I got the variety purely for the name. It's called Skywalker. And I've got my tree spinach. So we've got tree spinach in this bed and tree cabbage in this bed. And then I've got celeriac and some beetroot I've left going to seed down the bottom. This extra large bed is split about in half, and this half is mainly a lot of perennials, really, my herbs. And this winter we want to get more wood chip around because it certainly saves the weeding, and when we're in dry season like this it holds the moisture in. And I might end up having to expand the herbs, so I'll take you on a tour so you can see the herbs close up, because there's many herbs in here that you might be taking. You might be one of my clients taking it, or you might have taken different tinctures from other people, and you can get to meet the plants. So let's meet the plants up close and personal. Okay, so there's thyme here, some's in flower, some's gone over. And I'm just going to walk around and hopefully you'll be able to capture everything as I'm touring around. So there's a load of mugwort here. And then we've got a row of a mixture of evening primrose and yarrow. Got a row of St. John's wort. And the chamomile is starting to come to the end, but it's still going. Mullein. Spike's just coming up. And then we've got some valerian. Got two rows of valerian here. Valerian officinalis, the one used for medicine. And then we got Culver's root here, or black root. Sorry, it's that time of year. My shadow's going to get in at some point. Another Artemisia. So we had the Artemisia vulgaris over there, the mugwort. And then we got wormwood here, another Artemisia. Artemisia absinthe. And then that's the catmint. We've got feverfew. Some in flower, some not, depending on when I've planted them out. And then we've got blessed thistle, which has these little yellow flowers on. And then milk thistle. Now you can tell it's milk thistle from the leaves. Look at those milky veins. And then she's now in flower, so I'll be collecting the seeds from this amazing row of milk thistle for medicine. Got some little henbanes I've just put in. And beautiful, beautiful hearties. So there's the milk thistle. Got a couple of horseradish, which are new, so I'm not going to be taking the root from them for a while. And then we've got a row here of elecampane, which is in its first year. This will grow very big. Lemon balm. Just put in some echinacea on this row and some mallow, marshmallow. And there's the oregano in flower, and the butterflies absolutely love the flower in oregano. And then at the top I've got 2 burdock plants, if I just get out the way. So looking small now, but will soon look quite big. So that's the medicinal half, and then I've got a row of sunflowers which are just coming out to differentiate. So this bit is very weedy at the moment, but I will get round to weeding and the plants will grow fine in between. There's some squashes, spot the yellow flowers. There's some ochre plants and some courgettes. Some little courgettes starting to come. They've been a bit slow this year, the courgettes, and you can see more squashes. Doing quite amazingly well just amongst the weeds that are there. And then I've got my row of drying beans. So they're experimenting last year. Realised that the best ones are the Bolotis and the giant Greek, which are like a giant white bean, and the Rhondda black bean I saved for drying, which was amazing, and it's from South Wales, so obviously I have to get it. Again, this one hasn't been weeded, but on one side, as I said, there's the drying beans, and then there's French and a few runner beans on this side. There's Hoshawoo. And no, I haven't planted bindweed, it's meant to be there, or Foti, Chinese medicine herb. Mashua, which looks very similar to nasturtium, which I've got growing across there, and then we've got the beans there. So let's have a look at the other beds. On to some more of the small beds. Now the small beds were originally going to be just for our food, but there's actually too many for food just for me and Chris, so I am putting in some sporadic herbs, and also it's lovely to have the flowers amongst the non-flowering, more vegetable plants. But also, I don't like to tell the difference between is it a herb or is it food, because food is medicine and herb is medicine. So in here, we've got some random parsnips on the end, and then I've got a whole bed of kale for the winter, because whilst it might look like a lot now, when it slows down in the winter, we need a lot of kale to keep us going. And then this bed is another brassica bed. So I've got the purple sprouting, Brussels sprouts, loads of different cabbages, and then on the end, I've got some veg mallow that has gone to flower, which looks very hollyhock kind of mallow-like. And then on the end of this bed, I've got my chives and nasturtium. So let's have a good look. So these are the last 2 beds in the veg garden, and I can smell nasturtiums from here. If you are having a drought, it's the time to harvest your nasturtiums. You will smell them from quite far away, because the volatile oils and the aromatic qualities get really strong in medicinal plants, any plants, when they're struggling for water and when we're in a drought. So make your nasturtium vinegar now. They've got a video on that, and collect your nasturtiums in. So this was where my carrots were going to grow, but I've been really unsuccessful in carrots this year. In fact, the blue crates are there to stop the cats, because the cats like scratching, and hardly any seeds come up, so I don't know whether the slugs got to them or whether it was germination. But I need some carrot growing tips, guys, so put those in the comments below. I've then got some California poppy, some wild lettuce, which is a lettuce used for medicinal use, radish, beetroot. My peas have kind of got so powerful they've tumbled over, which I'll show you in a bit, but I mainly grow mange tout and sugar snap peas, and some drying peas. Next year I'm going to separate them because it's hard to differentiate. But I tend to grow a lot of mange too and sugar snaps because all the effort of growing, I want to eat the whole thing. And then this bed's another bed of kale, so you can see we love our kale here. And then I've still got some onions in there and some perennial onions at the back. So let's check these out. So here then, I'm back in the large bed. We've got the beans behind me and the squash that I've showed you. And then the end of this large bed, I've got loads of Yacon, which is beautiful at this time of year, lovely soft leaves. And I've got lots of videos on Yacon, and I'll put the links to those below along with the nasturtium vinegar links. And then I've got potatoes. So the potatoes at the back are starting to die back now, and I have actually started picking them. When we need potatoes, we just come down and pick. And then these ones are more the later potatoes, so they're in flower, but they'll all be ready soon, and it's just a case of getting in before the blight does. So hopefully you've enjoyed the tour of my garden and getting to know some of the plants. And some of you, as I said, might be having your medicine directly from me, which is directly from here, and in the wilderness around in the wild plants in our woods and on the wild edges. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please subscribe. It really helps get this message out there, and my message is to inspire you to grow your own food, to grow your own medicine, to reduce your food miles and reduce your medicine miles. So get growing, because you can feed your body, feed your mind and feed your soul. If you've enjoyed this video, then you can also connect with me on a deeper level over on my website, selinawalker.earth. Sign up to my newsletter, and I send out regular hints and tips on how you can create a healthy body, a healthy mind and a healthy planet.